You are probably wondering why I make this face. You are probably wondering why I have this whole film noir, black and white screen. You're probably wondering why I'm doing this all together. Well, I'm about to do a film noir David Lynch film movie review. And now I will cut the act. So yeah, I'm about to do a famous. I don't know if it's famous or not, but it was really good. A movie called Mulholland Drive by the famous film director David Lynch, the very weird, very dark David Lynch, I should say. Very, very weird man. Um, so I got around to seeing Mulholland Drive, kind of a early 2000s hit that he made. Um, so yeah, it was kind of this. It was in color, but it was film noirish, kind of like this whole black and white thing, minus the black and white. It was definitely the whole um, person with the amnesia, person in bad company kind of a film. But David Lynch is very well known for making stories that feel like a giant bad dream in a way. Um, so yeah, there was a lot of really weird bad dream qualities to this film. But anyway, Mulholland Drive it centers around a few different stories going on all at once, and they're all connected to one another. The first story is this woman has amnesia from a car accident that she was in at the beginning of the film, and uh, she lives with a woman played by Naomi Watts, who's new to this town in Hollywood, next to where Mulholland Drive is, and she kind of just lives there. And Naomi Watts has no idea who she is. This woman is calling herself Rita from a Rita Hayworth poster that she's seen and on the wall. And from there, Naomi Watts is just kind of figuring out who this woman is that she's living with in Hollywood. And I don't want to give away too much, otherwise, it might ruin the film for you. Another story of the film is there's a film director who's trying to direct this story that he really wants to make into a movie, and he's always talking to these people that are always kind of telling me, you have to cast this person, or you have to cast this, you have to do this with your musical score, you have to do this. So he doesn't really have a lot of decisions with this movie that he wants to make. And a lot of things happen, like the wife cheats on him and all this stuff. And so it kind of just falls apart, and you really never find out what movie he really had to make, since he didn't really have a lot of choices in this movie. Um, and then another story that this film had is, what was the other story? Um, this one was really, really short. It was a very, very loose connection for later in the film. But there was this guy who met a friend of his at a restaurant. And he said, the reason why I asked you here today is because I've been having this really, really weird, surreal dream lately. And he said, you're always sitting here. I'm always sitting here, kind of like what we're doing now. And when you go to pay the bill later today, you're always standing at that spot and you almost look scared. And I look scared in this dream. And then he said, for some weird reason, we always go in the back of the restaurant and we see a guy that we can't even describe because he looks so strange. And it just so happens that the way the dream plays out for him consistently happens to him at that restaurant. And later on, when Naomi Watts and the woman with amnesia go there, he kind of envisions something as well. So that was kind of a very weird, surreal David Lynch moment for sure in this film. Um, but what I didn't like about the film is, without ruining the plot, there's a scene later in the film where there's this weird blue box that the woman with amnesia has, and she opens it up with like this weird key that she finds later on in the movie, and opens it up, plops on the floor. The camera like zooms in on like this black darkness of the box, and I have no idea what's going on after that point in the movie. I mean, it's you almost ask yourself, am I in an alternate universe? Is Did the woman with amnesia and Naomi Watts kind of switch roles? Does she have amnesia now and she's kind of the big movie star in the town that's new? Or is it just supposed to be the kind of this jumble, don't know what's going on mess that's going on in Naomi Watts' head. Um, and even though there's a brief clip in there that flashes back to kind of something that happened earlier in the movie, you're like, that still doesn't make a lot of sense. And then the movie just kind of ends. Um, so yeah, the ending was very disappointing because I was just so confused. Um, but this movie was very entertaining to watch. If you have not seen Mulholland Drive yet, I'm sorry if I was very brief and very all over the place with this review, but I was very entertained by this film. If you have not seen Mulholland Drive yet, it stars Naomi Watts and Justin Theroux. And Justin Theroux was the screenwriter of Iron Man 2, so I was interested already. David Lynch is a very weird director, so just be cool with this movie, and hope you enjoy as much as I did.